Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video, and today's video is not quite the same as usual. Today we're going to be looking at New World, and you might be wondering from the title, Cal, what's going on with New World? All I'm hearing is New World's broken, a New World this, New World that. And that's a valid question. So let's dive in and take a look at what's gone wrong with New World, because as I have said in the past on my live streams, New World is fundamentally flawed. It was not ready for release, and they pushed it out the gate anyway. Over the last 2 weeks, there have been a plethora of bugs. At this point, Amazon are playing whack-a-mole with a hydra. Every bug they squish, another 3 appear. And somehow, the bugs have got worse and worse. The first ones we encountered were covered by Josh Hayes in the recent week. This includes the bug that was discovered where grabbing your window and being waved around would stop all incoming data to your client. Your game basically told the server, no, I'm not logged in. This made you invincible, this made you fly, this means gravity didn't affect you, you were in the game in a paused state. You could pause an online game. If that wasn't bad enough, they fixed it, sort of, by removing windowed mode, so you can't drag the window around anymore. Then, the same bug emerged the next day, the day this was patched. It emerged in the form of rolling and grabbing the window mid-roll. Because during a roll, you are invincible. If you want to know a bit more about that, I suggest looking at the video from Josh Hayes. He's covered it perfectly. And then to top that off, the one that truly confuses me is the Staff of Life that you could put an AoE healing ring on the ground with. If you crouched in that ring, you would heal. I don't know why. I don't know how they've messed this up. I don't know why crouching is tied to anything to do with an obscure ability. But that happened. You'd crouch and you could heal up to full just by spamming control. Brilliant, right? Well, upon fixing that, which they still haven't fixed properly, by the way, it's still completely doable, they then broke the auction house, meaning that if you sold an item while you were offline, well, your database entry can't be edited because you're offline. Why is that a thing? Well, because they've set it up in a way where they require a client-server handshake to do anything to do with your database. Well, if you're offline, the server-client handshake fails. So you don't get your gold, but you've sold your item to someone else. And they do lose their gold. So it's just a bizarre incident here. And that was the icing on the cake until today. Today we were tipped off about a bug, and me and Josh had a look further into this to see if there was any truth to it. I mentioned this about Dreamworld. Whenever you are dealing with input text, always filter it. Not just for language, but sanitize it. Make sure that there are no header tags or anything like that. Well, their text box is HTML, and the bottom level container on their text box is, it's not sanitized. It straight up reads anything you put as code. So we were first alerted to this because you can link an item and an image in chat, and you can set the image size to whatever you want. That's pretty annoying, right? Pretty inconvenient to see, I don't know, a large squid just appear on your screen. And it completely fills your chat. Your chat's dead now. But wait, there's more. Because while testing this, we'd found something else. You can disconnect players in chat. Like, you can exit them out of the game, a forced exit. You can crash their game. And how do you do this, you may ask? Well, I'm not going to give you the exact lines of code that were done for this because I don't want to promote this. It's not dangerous, it's just inconvenient, and it's ruining other people's experience on New World if they weren't already ruined by elephants being placed on your screen. Essentially, what you can do is you can send custom data for an item you're linking, and you tell it to retrieve data that doesn't exist. Well, what happens? Your game loops through the local database to find this data that it's been told exists, and, well, it doesn't. So it loops forever and it crashes. And you can't do anything to stop this. This is why it's such a malicious attack. You can target specific people as well by whispering them or DMing them. It's absolutely absurd. It's fundamentally broken the game. And you might be thinking, that's pretty horrible, Cal. That has ruined the game for many people. But wait, there's even more. So we're about to talk about the next logical step with this bug. So if you change the size of the image and the image itself to an image that doesn't exist, just hit the keyboard when you're inputting this code. Well, it brings up a massive yellow box that fills your entire screen. If you say it in local chat, well, you've just flooded their actual screen. You're seeing me testing it on screen now, non-maliciously, with a friend's account. That's not even the best part of this. The worst part, I'm not even going to show you this being done, because I don't want anyone to figure out how this one works, because I'll tell you this, it's bad. So, icing on the cake here, the final foray into this chat box exploit. Wouldn't it be horrible if you could duplicate gold using this method? Wouldn't it be even worse if you could spawn gold out of thin air? Well, you know what I'm about to tell you, don't you? You can do that. There is another rule in game development that is very important for multiplayer games. Never run trusted code in UI, because the server has no control over the UI itself. You can open any UI anywhere. Doing things to those UI, well, they need sanity checks. However, for some reason, hovering over an item that's linked in chat will tell the server, hey, can I get the latest data on this item that I'm hovering over? And the server will go, yeah, sure, here it is. And the server believes you that you're hovering over that item. Because why would you lie about that? Why would the client lie that they're hovering over an item? And that's all good and well. There's nothing malicious there. However, when you can edit the request that gets sent out, that's a whole nother ballgame, because these requests aren't being checked. So let's say, theoretically, there was a quest that didn't have a specific location to hand in, and it auto-completed when you'd done a thing. Well, what if you appended that to the end of an item in chat? Again, I'm not going to show you how to do that, and I'm not going to tell you how to do that. But theoretically, and provably true, every single time you hover over that item, you will get given 50 gold for repeatedly completing a quest that you haven't completed. I need to point out to you guys that I like New World. I really do. I wanted this game to be good, and I said it wasn't ready. I said that it was fundamentally flawed on an architectural level. Whoever designed their server-client pair, they need to go back to programming school, because they've essentially given the client complete control over server requests. This is insane. Now, as you're realizing, you can control what happens on other people's clients. This means that if I put a little bit more effort into working this out, you can turn their volume up and down. You can play sound files obnoxiously loud, regardless of what their volume's set to. You can really, really do damage. So this would be bad enough if it was targeting everyone. You can make yourself immune to a chat-breaking bug. And here's where it gets more inconvenient. The only way to repair your client after this is a complete restart, to clear the cache and flush it. A single line of code, ladies and gentlemen, is breaking the entirety of New World. And again, this is such a ground-level, fundamental flaw in their system. This is going to take a lot of work. The amount of time it's going to take them to fix this, and fix it without creating new bugs, well, time will tell with this one. Ladies and gents, I know that this is not the sort of content I normally make, but I realise with my Dreamworld videos, you guys find the technical side of this a bit more interesting. It's all good and well seeing online that somebody says, the game is broken. But I want to tell you guys why the game is broken. To shed some insight into how amateur a lot of these mistakes are. And I hope that New World will fix this before it gets severely abused. Because I don't think it will be long. I give it a day or two, and if they haven't fixed it, I'm telling you now, general chat will be a mess. Myself, and I believe Josh as well, have contacted Amazon to try and get this expedited to be fixed, with exact instructions on what is causing it. Because the people who have figured this out have got a lot of theories on what caused it, but in reality it's actually simpler than they think. Which makes it scary, because anybody can do it. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you so much for dropping by and watching this. As always, a massive thank you to the patrons. I will be over on Twitch after this video, playing some old school RuneScape again. So drop by and say hi. As always, have an awesome day and a fantastic week.